This is International Roundups. I'm Dennis Aseto, KTN in partnership with Vowry. We start from the most amazing, beautiful country, the entire world, Kenya. And athletes who just jetted back from Commonwealth were welcomed as heroes they are. Why? Because they flew the Kenyan flag high and shot the entire world. Why exactly? Kenya is the greatest country this side of the Sahara and the world at large. Congratulations to Team Kenya.
During the competition, I was not sure if I was going to win, but mentally I was prepared. I knew that my competitors also were, the field was strong, so I was prepared.
I don't know how many people I'm gonna inspire them, but I think I've already put a mark or alert the Kenyans that field events is something that can do great than like other events.
From Kenya, we go next door and we knock. Who's there? It's Uganda. Now, Uganda and WHO are calling upon countries to lift the travel bans to the country. Why? Because Uganda has emerged victorious against Ebola virus, the Bundibugyo strain that has continued to ravage Democratic Republic of Congo. Uganda is saying, we are open for business.
The other concern which we've been raising as government of Uganda is that we urge the countries which had instituted travel restrictions for their citizens coming into Uganda, but also for people traveling from Uganda, accessing their countries. In light of the progress which we have registered as a country, we appeal and are engaging those countries to lift those restrictions. In any case, from a public health standpoint, those decisions are not backed by science.
We left Kenya and knocked in Uganda. In South Africa, knock, Africans were sent back home. In what is now commonly known as Afrophobia or Xenophobia, if you like. But economists are now warning South Africa that the might that they have enjoyed in a very long time will be taken away, will be stripped from them. Why? Because they have said no to Africans in the country.
For the marches and marches. So I think most people, they end up feeling that they were not safe, they were scared. Some others, they ran away to move to other areas, others, they just left for home. So this is an impact that most people, they moved. Others, they were trying to sell just to make a living, honestly, but now because of that, they end up running away. So you see, it was used to be full this side, just like here, it used to be full against the wall up there, but you can see it's just few people that are left here.
Each and everyone is doing business. Each and everyone is doing for his family, is doing for everyone to get a success behind that thing of business things. So each and every foreigner who doesn't have any papers in South Africa, please organize your papers or please go back and fix your paper things and come back and let's live together as Africans together.
Immigrants in South Africa is actually contributing far more to the economy than what they're taking out of the economy. Obviously, there are criminals. Obviously, there are immigrants that now do not contribute much to the economy. But there's a lot of studies that suggest that the contribution of immigrants to the South African economy is much, much more than what you're actually taking out of the economy. Also, what is critically important, if you look, then there's studies that suggest that criminals, in many instances, the majority of immigrants, in many instances, are actually entrepreneurs themselves, and they employ South Africans, and they contribute to the South African economy. So with many of them leaving South Africa because of the recent let's call it what it is, and it's xenophobia against immigrants in South Africa will be losing that economic energy, so to speak, and it will have a negative impact on the South African economy, and especially on the so-called informal part of the South African economy, which is a very important part of the South African economy.
From South Africa, we now go to West Africa. And here we are in the land and home of President Traoré. And in this country, the government has decided to do things differently. They are making their own toys, toys that tell their story, tell the story of the culture that make the Burkinabés who they are. They say these will help in making children grow up knowing exactly what Burkina Faso is made of. Talk about having locally led solutions to local
L'avantage, c'est qu'au fait, quand plus l'enfant s'approprie au jeu.
The advantage is that the more the child engages with locally designed games, the more they develop their skills. We can even redefine a more complex model because we move from the simplest to the most complex. The games are accessible here. We don't have to order them from abroad. Gradually, we define activities, and at the same time, we adapt the games.
Progressivement, on définit des actions et en même temps, on adapte le jeu.
L'idée, c'est à partir d'un constat du manque de ce matériel au Burkina Faso depuis 2018.
The idea arose from observing the lack of suitable toys in Burkina Faso in 2018. We decided to create educational toys using local materials, providing work for various trades within the Burkinabe craft sector to adapt these products to the reality and context of Burkina Faso. As a result, these educational toys help improve the quality of education.
Éducatifs viennent participer à l'amélioration de la qualité de l'éducation.
Now let's go to the United States of America. And here, the wildfires that continue to be seen, especially in Spokane, many are asking the question, until when will these continue? Even as firefighters and well-wishers continue to battle these wildfires, there is an individual who's been arrested and charged. Why? Because he is accused of starting these wildfires that have taken out over 700 buildings. We are still in the United States of America, and here authorities are telling the locals one thing: stay sweaty, smell a little bit. Why? Because wells have run dry, calling upon the people to skip showering, to rewear their clothes. Why? Because the amount of water that they do have gone down because of the drought that continues to hit the state.
70 acre-feet a year, and they cut us back to 77 acre-feet this year. Yes, at the beginning it was kind of a slap in the face. We went straight to water restriction level number 3, which was restricting people from watering their grass freely, using water for washing their cars. But it was very quickly followed by level restriction number 5. Level restriction number 5 means we only want you to use water for life-saving usages, you know, washing, sanitary reasons, and actual drinking water. We actually asked our citizens to cut back on taking showers, you know, go 1 or 2 days if you can, to restrict your usage on washing clothes. We asked people to wear your clothes 2 or 3 times, you know, if they're not as dirty as construction workers. You know, we understand that you can't ask everybody to follow those rules, but we asked everybody to come together, and they really did. Within 2 weeks, we had a major water usage drop of about close to 2 million gallons in the first month. That was really great. And once we got the schools to help participate with stop watering their fields, which was really hard to do because they're in the middle of their baseball, softball seasons, and asking kids to play on yellow grass that hurts is kind of rough. Especially our community up here, they pride themselves on the baseball fields. It's been a real pillar of the community for a while.
One of the things that we were doing here at our campus was we had gardens, and when the town of Kearney said, hey, no watering, we have to find ways to be creative with our water. One of the lessons or discussions that we were having with our students was, how do we collect rainwater? How do we preserve what we have? If you build your soil, then it retains that water longer and you actually end up using less. This year we've begun an aquaponics project, and of course that takes way less water than the traditional garden in the soil.
Now, from the United States of America, we go to Europe. To be specific, we are in the United Kingdom. And President Donald Trump has said that he understands those that are running, he understands Europe better than those that are running these countries. This after the UK Prime Minister said that he would use the army to protect their borders following the surge of illegal migrants that entered into Spain from Morocco. This continues to cause havoc, but the UK government says it must do what it must to protect its citizens.
I know Europe better than anybody, better than the people that run it, and have great relationships here. Two things are killing Europe. Number one is immigration, number two is energy. Like the UK, when you look at the UK, they have one of the best energy fields in the world, North Sea oil. Now, I think your new prime minister is going to actually open up from what I hear, I spoke to him, and he sounded terrific on this subject. But you open it up, you'll be a wealthy country. You keep it closed, you're going to be a bankrupt country, which is what you are now. Essentially, you're a bankrupt country. You have one of the greatest energy fields, the North Sea oil, one of the greatest fields in the world. You know, the UK buys its energy from Norway, who gets the energy from the North Sea, from not as vibrant a part of the North Sea.
We go to Bolivia. The diesel crisis that is being witnessed across the world does not only affect factors of production that would mean transport and manufacturing in these countries, but in Bolivia, it's totally a different story. Because the price of chicken has gone up. Bolivianos, which is the amount, rather the currency of the country, 2.39 Bolivianos being used to buy chicken. And they're saying, nope, too expensive for us. We want to enjoy our chicken.
Let's say right now is much more expensive than it was, but even at that price we still won't recover what we lost in the previous cycle. Because of the diesel issue and because of the blockades, there was no diesel and the trucks couldn't get here because there was no diesel. The truth is this fuel shortage isn't just from now. It's been going on since January, which makes us work at a loss here because it drives up the cost of inputs and transport, bringing everything in by truck and diesel. It's been affecting us since at least January.
Imagine a chicken costs you almost 60 Bolivianos. People earn 100 pesos, 80 pesos a day. So you can buy a chicken because in a household you don't only eat chicken, you eat rice, potatoes, gas. What you have to pay isn't just for one person, and it's not enough.
Sector avícola ahora está pasando.
The poultry sector is now going through a period of stagnation. Look, in the poultry sector, we say grow at a different pace, many of the factors that drive the economy and other sectors, because our activity is highly correlated with activity in the countryside. If farmers do well, we do well.
Now, let's go to Russia. As you may know, Russia is in war with Ukraine. And the Russian government says they are ready for war. Bring it on. We will defend ourselves. We will fight you as they go forward to protect the far eastern frontier as they get into this war and protect their own. But even as Russia says they're ready for war, there is this war that they called natural justice. Now, a swarm, an army of locusts have descended on Russia, and with many say this is one of the worst army because they are most destructive. Many ask the question, is it a sign of end times? The Bible would say that, but it's just another war that Russia is fighting.
Where are they heading? What on earth is this? Thank goodness they're not heading towards the town. What are you doing? They're going to eat us alive.
The holidays are slowly creeping up. They are slowly knocking on our doors. And with that, different jurisdictions are getting ready for that. In Moscow, for instance, they have just rolled out a new amusement park in Dream Island. That name alone, Dream Island, with a new amusement park, getting ready for the holidays. What else would a population ask for other than what Kenyans would say, enjoyment?
Today we opened the outdoor section of our Dream Island theme park. It includes 5 themed zones, with each one arranged based on the type and thrill level of the rides.
Все аттракционы подготовлены для работы в погодных условиях, соответственно, с определенными ограничениями по холоду, по ветру. Поэтому понятно, что зимой их зона работает.
All the rides are designed to operate in all weather conditions, subject to certain restrictions related to low temperatures and high winds. Obviously, the outdoor section will not be open in winter. However, the technical specifications were drawn up taking into account the local landscape and conditions. Let me emphasize once again that these are specialized outdoor rides. The manufacturers designed them in accordance with our requirements and preferences for outdoor operation.
Moroccan citizens migrated forcefully so into Spain. This is because they were looking for greener pastures just on the other side of the fence. But as we speak right now, the military, the authorities in Spain have said, you gotta go back home. But now, those who entered the country illegally are complaining of heavy-handedness from the authorities, saying, we are not criminals, we just wanted that better life. This is that story.
Viva España! Viva España! Viva España!
Hello, my name is Moad Zimouri. I came from Tunisia. I crossed the border here from Castillejo to Ceuta by swimming. I've spent almost 11 days here before the harassment of the borders by the Moroccans. So we are here living our days. We were expecting that we will be living in a center with people with Spanish people to give us an opportunity to improve ourselves.
De Ceuta, yo vivo en El Príncipe y nada para decir que el comportamiento.
I'm from Quetta, I live in El Principe. Well, I just want to say that the way Moroccan citizens have been treated here upon entering has been, what can I say? It's been really bad, because they didn't deserve to have all the harm done to them. Those poor people, they're just here to make a living and build a future for themselves, because things aren't going very well for them in their own country. So our city police and military stepped in, the entire city system, including the police and everyone else, and they didn't even hit them or anything.
De lo que llevan la policía, eso, ni le han pegado ni nada.
Let's go to Albania. Heat strokes in Europe continue to be a problem. But in Albania, they are looking at how they will reduce these heat strokes, or rather just make the locals be able to deal with it. Firefighters could be seen spraying water on people to help deal with the same. But even as the heat strokes and what many would say drought is there, this water perhaps as well would be channeled towards food security, because heat strokes means too much sun means less food. Take a look. Now, are you a lover of wine? But to be specific, are you a lover of Bordeaux wine? Now, Bordeaux winemakers are saying that they have to rethink how they have been processing this product, because heat waves and heat strikes continue to hit these countries, and they have decided that they will have to relook on the tradition that they've had for a very long time as they seek to continue with this practice way later into the future. Heat strokes are here, but most importantly, climate change is a reality. Question is, how is the world dealing and addressing climate change?
Many things have indeed changed over the past 20 or 30 years. First, we can see in today the date of the harvest. We are harvesting much earlier than in previous years. In Budia, the harvest used to take place around mid-September, but more generally throughout October. This year, we are going to begin harvesting around August 15, which is unprecedented.
Inédit.
We may need permission to dump in these respect and water in the vines because they are suffering too much, and climate change is progressing faster than we think. So we may soon need to irrigate, or at least water the vines.
Well, from Kenya, we're celebrating winners coming back home, athletes coming back from doing the duty. And we say Congole, but in Uganda as well, it is another salute for the country for being able to fight what we call the worst crisis ever experienced. That is the Bundibugyo strain of the Ebola virus. As they say, our doors are open, please come and see us. But even while at that, then you go to the United States, where President Trump has said, well, I understand these European nations, including those who are running them, even as UK says that it will protect its borders using the army. All these only on KTN in partnership with Viori. I'm Dennis Aseto.